Yes, we can play the fatigue card, and yes, that's the same team that's played 5 matches in a row, but also the basics were pretty poor, and sometimes you just have to say that was pretty shite. The Tottenham match reactions come up, Newcastle fans, so if you want to, make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, Newcastle fans. I'm not going to call you lovely on this video. I'm just going to say welcome back and thanks, I guess, for tuning in. If you are new around here, do us a little favour, whack that little like. If you can, whack that subscribe. I'm not at the match today, which pains me massively. Even though the result went away there, I still don't like it. I was going to watch it in the house. I don't like watching it in the house. It just feels wrong. So I did come over to Newcastle, hence why I'm in my usual home match spot with a strawberry in the background, because I did go to first half in the strawberry, second half in Shearer's bar. Sometimes you've just got to say that was absolutely shite, and it was. I think Will from the In-Between has summed it up better than I can.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
And you know what? I said before this game that I was worried that the fatigue card, which I didn't think was ever present against Everton, I thought we weren't great against Everton, but we were okay and we had the chances and we were in the game right until those errors at the end. I'm using that card today. The players from the very first whistle, we weren't first to any balls, we were slow in our decision making, we just weren't at the races. Tottenham, who, fair play to them, they played on Thursday just the same as us. They've got injuries themselves, key players, their substitutes, benches and great. They were just better. They really were. And yes, we can put it down to that same team playing, but I think it's also okay for us to call out a really bad performance with regards to the basics not being done properly. Footballers play matches game after game, and on some of them occasions in that match, just simple passes going astray, just the basics, you know, decision making not the best. And we just weren't at the races at all, and it mirrored, for me, in a lot of ways, it mirrored the Bournemouth match, which was exactly the same issues, was just looking extremely leggy on the pitch. Eddie Howe's got barely anyone to turn to change the game, and the goals were really sloppy, weren't they? I mean, first goal, the man who started the move and scored the goal hasn't been tracked. Bruno, Joe Linton haven't got anywhere near him. They've allowed him to just waltz into the box and tap it in. Obviously, I've had a better view than what I normally do in the stadium. In a replay, it looks like the Cell's injuries affected the first goal. If he's picked up a bit of a knock in the other half from a free kick, then just tell someone, slow the game down, get looked at. He hasn't been able to sort his feet out, and he's holding himself after they scored the first. So that was frustrating, probably unfortunate. Second goal, Kieran Trippier. There's no way he should be getting beat that easily. Son is a very good player, one of the best in the Premier League, but Kieran Trippier can't sort his feet out. He turns him too easy, and there's Richarlison to put that one in. And at half time, I'm thinking, Tottenham are still playing a high line. We have had a couple of chances here and there. We've got Callum Wilson on the bench. Let's get in at 2-0 and go again. And I was really hopeful that something could improve in the second half, and we came out pretty much the same. We did have a spell where we had lots of the ball, but didn't really do anything with that football. And they got the third. For me, Dubravka's got to do better on the third. And I'll talk about individual players and who we're missing. We are missing Nick Pope. Yeah, Dubravka, once upon a time, was a good shot stopper, but times change. And he doesn't have the excuse of being tired or being fatigued. And he's just got to do better there. He has to make a decision. He was indecisive when the ball came over the top. Yes, our defence was ripped apart by quite a straightforward ball, but he's got to do better. And then his attempt to go after Richarlison before he taps it in was poor. And then he gives away the penalty for the fourth, which, to be fair, I thought the penalty when he jumps to his feet looked a little bit soft. Individual performances for me, I think I can't give a man of the match when we've just been beaten 4-0. But the player that stood out, who did not look tired more than anyone, was Joe Linton. I thought Joe Linton today was the man of the match by a country mile, and he deserved his goal in injury time. I thought he was brilliant. He had desire. He was faster in the pass than the rest of his team. He was driving us forward. He looked dangerous in areas in the final third, and I thought he was the standout. other than that, you're clutching at straws. I thought Livramento probably didn't put too much of a foot wrong, and he hasn't done so far for us this season when he's come in. Thought Bruno was off the pace. Trippier was a little bit off the pace again. Almiron frustrated the life out of me again, and I said before the match that we needed a better performance than what we saw against Everton. Maybe he is someone, he got injured for Paraguay in the last international break. Maybe he is someone who is maybe playing a little bit too much football, but that's not an excuse for doing some of the basics right and just using your right foot. Anthony Gordon didn't look great today neither. I thought Everton on Thursday, maybe the occasion got the better of him, but again, disappointing from him, and he's been one of our standout players so far this season. And again, with Isak, he came back from injury and he's been asked to play every single match. PSG, Chelsea, Man United, now again tonight after the Everton game on Thursday. I don't think Isak looks sharp, because you know when you've got a sharp Isak, because he's an absolute fox in the box and he causes all sorts of problems. I thought he looked slow with the ball at his feet. That first chance in the first half when Gordon puts the ball across, he's not making a long bus run to get there, and I think we would have seen that in the past. Everything we did today was almost slowed down compared to what we're used to. Sorry, my arm is absolutely killing us, so I'm going to have to change hands. Hopefully my finger's not hovering over the top of the camera there. Everything that we did today was just a couple of, almost as if you're recording a video and you're editing it and you just slowed it down one. That's how I thought we played today. And Tottenham, fair play to them. I said they played on Thursday just the same as us, so there was no advantage on matches midweek. They were dangerous and they could have scored. They've hit the post in the second half. They've had chances, they've had balls flashed across the box on numerous occasions. It could have been 6-0 tonight, and I didn't think going into this match that it was ever going to be a day for good defending because of the matches, because of the injuries for both teams, and so it proved. I've got nothing positive to say about that, because yes, those lads look dead on the feet. They do. And I did a joking meme on my other socials at half time about, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme when he's tired with the can of Red Bull, being in the dressing room at half time. That summed them up. But what I'm not also going to excuse is us doing some of the basics wrong. And we did do some of the basics badly today. There's lots of teams play matches week in, week out. There's not many teams who don't have substitutes to bring on. And I tell you what, when Callum Wilson came onto the pitch, I thought we looked a better side. And I asked the question on one of my last videos about Isak, the jury maybe being out on him. Is he out and out forward? Is he left-sided sort of front three? I think in matches like this, Callum Wilson is so important to us. I really, really do. When we're pumping balls in the box, when we're trying to get maybe a bit of something out of nothing, I do not think Isak's your man. He's more of an explosive, exciting, intricate forward player. Callum Wilson is the bloke who will tap in a little sniff here and there, and he'll be in and about like a really annoying little rat running around the box. That's what we get in Callum Wilson, and I thought it was nice to see them back on the bench. That was a massive plus going into this match. But we've got to dust ourselves off quickly. We do. We don't expect too many players to be back for AC Milan on Wednesday. That AC Milan game is huge. AC Milan have a lot of injuries. They have some key players out, so it's a common theme. I feel like everyone's got injuries this season, but that's massive. Win that match and we get European football. One thing I'll say about AC Milan, yes, we are not going into it in good form. 6 goals in 2 games in 3 days is shite. It is. We are a team who pride ourselves on a good defensive record, and I tell you what, Mr. Nick Pope contributes to that, him being out. Lascelles has done a good job in place of Botman. I'm not so sure on Mr. Martin in place of Nick Pope. That was a huge loss, and that's going to continue to be a huge loss over the Christmas period. But one thing I will say is that crowd inside this beautiful place on Wednesday could be what gets us over the line, because we haven't had that. Our away form this season is shocking. It needs sorting out. I can't pinpoint what the issue is away from home. I don't think it's the lack of crowd, because we were used to that last season. I don't know whether it is a mixture of the injuries coming into play. I do not know, but it is very, very poor. And yes, lots of Newcastle fans are going to go away tonight and say, well, things are still pretty rosy in the garden. Remember where we were, That gets rammed down our throat, and I agree. But also, as a Newcastle fan, I am allowed to remember where I came from and be appreciative that we are just in the mix in matches with Champions League to look forward to, but also call out a shite performance. We all know we were missing players tonight. We all know them players look dead on their feet. This will be another one we write off. We've got players coming back, but we can also say that was not good enough. Fans, by the way, I'm going to give one special shout out before I finish this video, and I'll do a last word. I always do a last word where I analyse things a bit closer. Newcastle fans today had trains cancelled on them at the last hour. This was a very popular match for trains, but we didn't sell out, we didn't pack out the away, and you might have seen a lot of empty seats, but look how many fans were down there today. Trains, taxis, buses, ridiculous routes. That is who we are, and I could not be, as someone who wasn't there, and it pains me when I'm not, prouder of that bunch of fans to get down there, and I hope they all have a safe travel back. I hope they all get back okay and find some sort of train to get back on. Best fans in the land, and they deserved a little bit more than what we saw tonight. Newcastle fans, let us know your thoughts on that. Gutted I'm not there. I will do a last word where I look at things a little bit closer. Anyone who watches my videos knows what that looks like, so if you want to see that, subscribe, give us a little like. I'm going to go home, I'm going to get some scran and just get ready for Monday. I mean, what an awful end to a weekend that was. AC Milan on Wednesday though, so no rest for the wicked. Players are coming back, Newcastle fans. We've got Champions League matches and Cup quarter-finals to come, and hopefully we get some more people out of that medical room. Onwards and upwards we go. Keep the faith. Away the lads.